Hi guys, Love Book Triangle Lindsay here, and for this video I am going to be talking about author J. Crownover. I was introduced to this author by my friends. My friends were going to a book signing and they wanted to read more of the authors who were going to be there, and while she was discovering this new author, she was really enjoying her books, and they got two of the books for me, got them signed at the event, and that's how I started reading Jay's books. The first series I have read by Jay was the Marked Men novel books. I am missing the last one, Asa, but I have read it, I just don't own it. These stickers were from the signing that my friends went to when they got them signed. This series follows a lot of guys that have kind of interesting stories, some rough background, some have trouble with the law, some just had a tough upbringing, others were in the military, some were in the band, and it's about their situation, and then they meet a girl. And a lot of the guys are tattoo artists and they have a lot of tattoos, and that's how Marked Men kind of came about. And I really love this series. My favorite guy in the series is Nash, and then I have favorite guys, I have favorite couples, a favorite girl, and the characters just throughout the whole story are really great. Could connect and feel for each one of them. I really enjoyed it, and I like to say that this book has been to Jamaica, and that's just something special I like to say about it. But I do have all these books signed when I met Jay. Another series of Jay's is the Saints of Denver series, and it does connect with the Marked Men. You might see a snippet of them here or there in these books, but it mostly follows these characters. Salvage is the only one I haven't read yet. Leveled is like a little novella of two of the guys in this series, and this one is different than the other spines because it's the UK edition. I was shopping around for what one had the best price, so I was happy that I still got it. I don't really care that it doesn't match, but this series, also the characters, they each have a very interesting background and how they became who they are, so you could fall in love with all the characters. Again, this one, the girl is the daughter of the guy who runs, or used to run, one of the bars in the first book. And this one has to do with one of the bouncers that worked at that club, and this one has to do with one of the other characters' sisters. So even though they do each have their own identity, it's little things that get to connect you to the first series, which I enjoyed because that's the first series that I fell in love with of hers. That is a series I recommend, and luckily I have all of these signed as well. Next, I am going to show you Jay's Welcome to the Point series. The Point is a bad part of town, and the characters deal with bad happenings, or they're just involved in these bad happenings. That's just the life that they're in. When I read this book, this is the first book of Jay's I did not like. Don't get me wrong, her writing is still very good in the book. I just couldn't connect to the story or the characters. Then I continued on with this one on audiobook, and I enjoyed it so much better. I really didn't think I was going to continue with the series because I didn't like the first one, but I'm glad I continued, because just goes to tell you, just because one book in the series you don't like doesn't mean you're not going to like the rest of them. And I still have to listen to this one. I'm hoping, or read, I said listen because I'm actually planning on listening to this on audiobook soon, because my library actually has it available on audiobook. So that is her Welcome to the Point series. Now this book is from her Breaking Point series. I have not read it yet because I did not finish Welcome to the Point, but I believe it follows characters, like it spins off from the Welcome to the Point. There's Honor, Dignity, and Respect. Then I don't own physical copies, but there's the Getaway series with Retreat, Shelter, Escape, and the new release of Runaround. And I was fortunate enough to get the first two and read them on my Kindle, Retreat and Shelter. It's about these brothers who own like a ranch, a getaway ranch, and these two girls decide to take their vacation up there, and you go out on horses and you camp. But while they're out on this adventure, there's some guys growing drugs out in the woods, and unfortunately their vacation group stumbles upon it and stuff goes wrong from there. So I really have enjoyed the first two books I read of that so far, because not only are you getting a little bit of the romance or just the fun travels, you're also getting some thriller parts of how are they going to get themselves out of this situation. And I'm hoping that I still have a Christmas left to celebrate, that maybe the next book in the series will be one of my Christmas gifts under the tree. But I really enjoyed that series. And she has Recovered and Avenged, which are just some standalone reads, and I really do recommend Jay's books. She has a great writing style, and her characters just suck you in, because even though they might have some interesting backstories or some troubled past, you just can really feel for the characters, or maybe even connect with some of them, and that's why I really love reading her books. I was fortunate enough to meet Jay when I went to a Polycon last year. Her last name is really Voorhees, which I think is cool if you have seen the Friday the 13th movies. And she's just really easygoing. She has a great energy about her, and a kind of like just whatever to rules of life and beats to her own drum kind of feel about her. And she was just so fun and so nice, and I'm really glad I had the opportunity to meet her, and I'm hoping I get that opportunity again in the future. So she is my featured author of the month because her books are just some I highly recommend for you to read. Till next time, guys, hope you pick up one of her books. Bye.